There is a new theory going around in FPL ahead of FPL Gameweek 23 that you need to be aware of for captaincy. If you're looking to captain either Salah or Isak, this will definitely be of interest to you. And it's a very funny theory, and it's a very true theory as well, which is something that we can definitely take into consideration in future weeks in FPL. If you're an FPL fan and you're not subscribed to this channel, do subscribe to this channel down below. It takes 1 second to subscribe. Thank you for the support lately, and also do drop a like if you enjoyed this video as well. So let's discuss. Obviously, Alexander Isak and Mo Salah are going to be very, very popular captain choices this week. I'll be revealing at the end who I'm going to be captaining this weekend, talking about my team at the end of the video, my personal team. But we'll start off by talking about Alexander Isak. He's got Southampton away, which is as good a fixture as it can get, really. Southampton are on 6 points. They're on for a record-breaking season. They have performed a little bit better in the last couple of matches, but they've still conceded goals. And they are just, at the back, they're just an absolute shambles, to be honest. And Alexander Isak, of course, before this game against Bournemouth, where Newcastle did get absolutely smashed by Bournemouth, let's be real. But he was on for he was potentially being talked about as a Premier League record breaker for goals in consecutive games, but that's not the case, as he blanked against Bournemouth. He had 8 games in a row where he scored, but he didn't manage to keep it up. But you'd expect him to bounce back against Southampton. It is an unbelievable fixture, and check this theory out. So we'll go back to game week 22, and these are Southampton's opponents. When you look at the best player from each player that's played against Southampton in the last 5 game weeks, you'll be able to see there's a common theme. So starting off with Chris Wood, he played against Southampton obviously last week, and he came in with a goal and an assist and got 12 points. And when you look at it, the people who captained Chris Wood last week actually won, because Cole Palmer blanked, Alexander Isak blanked, Mo Salah blanked. And Chris Wood was pretty popular in terms of captaincy, bar Erling Haaland, who was the other captain who returned, who's pretty much just bots of Erling Haaland at this point. So people who captained Chris Wood, fair play to you, 12 points. And they used the Southampton theory, which goes back a few weeks, as I say. So this was a great choice here. Going back to game week 21 now, you can argue Bruno Fernandes is United's key player, but and in terms of best FPL asset as well. But Amad Diallo is probably the most popular FPL asset for United in terms of the playing fan base of FPL. Amad Diallo obviously playing against Southampton. They were 1-0 down until the 80th minute, but Amad Diallo goes ahead and bags a last 10-minute hat-trick and comes in with a 20-pointer against Southampton in game week 21. So if you're picking your players against Southampton in those 2 weeks, you would have pretty much chosen the best captain in both game weeks right there. Now we'll go back to FPL game week 20, and if you can remember, Brentford absolutely smashed Southampton 5-0, and Bryan Mbuemo was absolutely cooking in this game with 2 goals and 1 assist. Also as well, Wissa getting a goal and assist in that game, so I think Wissa got an 11-pointer. But Bryan Mbuemo, 19 points. In the last 3 weeks, you say Chris Wood, 12 points, Amad Diallo, 20 points, and Bryan Mbuemo, 19 points. Unbelievable for people who actually captained him, but just owning him at that point was definitely enough, because I owned him and he got me a massive green arrow that week. But Bryan Mbuemo in game week 20, scoring twice and getting an assist, and this theory just carries on. We go back now to game week 19. This is Eberechi's only double-digit haul in the last 10 game weeks, where he managed to get a goal and all 3 bonus points against Southampton. Now, I'm not saying you should captain Eberechi against Southampton, but just owning him, he was a massive differential, and him coming in with a double-digit haul is very nice. It still goes back to game week 19, this theory, and it actually goes back even further, where Jarrod Bowen, who not many people own, but a few people did actually bring him in ahead of that Southampton game. People have been using this theory for a while, by the way, and it's been working out for them massively. But Jarrod Bowen coming in with a goal and just a 1 bonus point. So we came in with an 8-pointer, which it's decent. It's still a return. So that is pretty much the main player from every single team returning against Southampton ever since game week 18. Absolutely mental. But of course, the spanner in the works is the fact that Mo Salah is playing against Ipswich himself, which is equally as good a fixture. Let's be real. Ipswich, they've been alright in the last few weeks, but they just got absolutely smashed against Man City in the last game, losing 6-0 and looking pretty poor defensively. They surely won't be as bad defensively against Liverpool as what they were against Man City. I don't think they can be much worse. But there's no denying that you would expect Mo Salah to bounce back and get some returns in his game weeks. But Alexander Isak is definitely a very good shout against Southampton away. It's just such a shame that they've both got Isak and Salah have both got 2 of the easiest newly promoted teams in the same game week. And looking at Mo Salah, of course, since the turn of the year, it's not been as good for Liverpool, and it's not been as good for Mo Salah. Liverpool's still been getting alright results, but they picked up 2 draws against Nottingham Forest and United. Mo Salah only scored 1 penalty against United. He didn't score from open play. He also blanked against Spurs in the Carabao Cup, and he's blanked then against Nottingham Forest and blanked against Brentford. So it's not been as great for Mo Salah in 2025. Also, though, he did just score in the Champions League last night against Lille, which I guess that's good for his confidence and good. It only strengthens his chances of being a captaincy shout against Ipswich in game week 23. But as I say, it's not been as good for Mohamed Salah recently. He picked up a double-digit haul earlier on in the season against Southampton, and Alexander Isak. Against Ipswich, but against Southampton for Alexander Isak, he only actually got one assist in Newcastle's 1-0 win in the opening game week in game week 1. So Salah performing better in the reverse fixture out of these two players. So moving on to my personal team and my transfer plans and who I'm going to be captaining myself. We'll go for the captain at the end, but you can kind of see who it is, but we'll explain it in a bit, the captaincy, why I'm choosing what I'm choosing. But going for the transfer plans, looking at my current team, there's a couple of players that are on the list to potentially leave the side. And Nicholas Jackson's 100% leaving. We'll talk about that in a second for the Liverpool double game week coming up. We'll talk about that, my transfer. Also as well, Diallo, I'm not too keen on at the moment. He had that good game, obviously, against Southampton where he scored a hat-trick. But if he didn't score that hat-trick, he would have left my team a long time ago. He would have left my team after that Southampton week. He would have left it last week. But obviously, with him scoring a hat-trick, I didn't want to get rid of him after the fact that he just scored 20 points and a lot of people were bringing him in. But Jackson, as I say, is definitely going. Ahmad could potentially be going. Also, there's Anthony Robinson, whose fixtures do get a little bit tougher. And Arne's fixtures do get a little bit tougher as well for Nottingham Forest now. So I'm potentially looking at bringing in a defensive transfer. Now, Kerkez for Bournemouth has got really nice fixtures from game week 25. So I'm going to be moving one of those two players on, either Robinson or Kerkez, Robinson or Arne, for a Kerkez. That is the plan going forward. But I don't want to make that move this week because Bournemouth haven't got a great fixture anyway. And Bournemouth don't have a good fixture, or Bournemouth don't have a good fixture up until game week 25. So I'm not too keen on bringing in Kerkez yet, but Kerkez is definitely on the watch list. So my one transfer, we have got 4 free transfers. My one free transfer will be, one of my free transfers will be moving on Nicholas Jackson 100%. So yeah, the player that I'm looking to probably be bringing in is Cody Gakpo, which means I probably won't be using my assistant manager chip just because it's hard to get the funds right now for Arne, so I've got to do a few transfers if I want to do that. And I think I'd just rather go for the Liverpool triple up this week with Cody Gakpo as well, because I would like to have a Liverpool triple up against Ipswich at home. Cody Gakpo actually didn't play in the Champions League. He got rested. Darwin Núñez played the full 90. Luis Diaz played and got 75 minutes. And then Salah did also play the full 90 as well. But I'd expect Gakpo to come straight back into the team against Ipswich. And as I say, if I'm using Arne to sort my assistant manager chip on him, I can't have triple Liverpool this week. And I think Cody Gakpo could do really, really well against Ipswich at home, because I do expect him to start the game. And it's going to be much better than Nicholas Jackson, who obviously was playing against Man City. His time is absolutely done. If you're not getting rid of Jackson, I don't know what you're doing. I think everybody's pretty much got rid of him at this point. By the end of this game week, he will be pretty much out of everybody's team. But as I say, Cody Gakpo, for me, is the number one forward to bring in just about. I like Mateta, but that double game week's enough to sway it for me to go for Cody Gakpo. And I do think the best Liverpool triple up is Gakpo with Salah and Transferred, in my personal opinion. If not Gakpo, if you don't want to go for Gakpo in your team and you think you want to go for a different approach and a different Liverpool third player, you probably go for maybe an Alisson in goal or a Konate, because you can't really get Trent and Van Dijk. But I'd have a double Liverpool defence if you're not going for Cody Gakpo. But I think there's a forward spot open. There's no clear standout third forward. So for me, Gakpo is the number one transfer in for me. So going ahead to the double game, we will then have Jordan Pickford who doubles, and we might maybe make an Everton defensive transfer as well. We'll see what happens as it gets to next. We will see how Everton get on this weekend against Brighton. So we've got Pickford in goal for the double game week. Then we've got Trent Alexander for double game week 24. Mo Salah, who will of course be our captain in double game week 24. And then we'll have Cody Gakpo as our forwards. Then we've got 4 players at least for the double, potentially 5, because we will have 4 free transfers as well going into next week if I do stick with my original transfer plans. So let me know what you're thinking in the comment section down below. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.